In this video I'm going to be explaining to you about modifying plumbing pipes. Plumbing pipes can be modified using a variety of standard and specialty tools, such as converting placeholders, changing rigid pipes to flexible ones, adding insulation and modifying the justification of pipes. As an example, looking on the screen here, we can see the fittings are incorrect in the sanitary system. And in this example on the right here, these have been changed to suit the correct system. If we click on the pipe, you can see that the pipe type here is standard, whereas on this example here we can see that the pipe type is PVC DWV. That's drainage, waste and vent. We'll touch a little bit more shortly on changing pipes over from one system to another. Using the standard modified tools comes back to the basics, which we can use the universal methods for changes, such as the properties box here, the options bar that shows up when we select on items, temporary dimensions as we're placing them in, such as these items that we can see here, controls that we may have, and also connectors, these items at the end. You can also use modified tools such as move, rotate, split, trim, extend and align to help place the pipes at the required locations. One of the challenges about working with plumbing is specifying the correct pipe fittings or accessory and verifying that it is working as expected. For example, if a fitting is facing the wrong direction, you can use the flip to switch it. Now, I'll show you an example here, but this won't work because we've got this at an angle. So what I might do is I might just draw this again and put it on a flat just to show you in this example. So pipe 80mm, slope off, I'll leave it at hot water, it makes no difference. It might be clearer for you to see on the screen anyway. So we've got this as a standard pipe, but if we just change this, as you can see, we've got our flow in the direction of the curve. Now if we happen to notice that this is incorrect, we can click on the item and then click the flip tool and it will change it round. Now when you've got it on a sloped pipe and you try and do the same thing, it will break the system, and what I mean by this I'll show you. Just get my mouse to work, click on the flip. Because the pipe in the horizontal is at an angle, the angle associated with the upstand pipe has been broken, disconnected. So if you find that this happens and you need to do this, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to reconnect your pipe back up again. Now it should be simple enough in this example here. But you'll probably find that it doesn't necessarily work so well when you're doing this for real. So what you need to do when that happens is you're going to need to reconnect your pipe again. And there's many times when I've known people doing the plumbing systems, the pipe systems are constantly breaking. So when we go into analyze and click on show disconnects and connect on the pipe, now this isn't working on the soil and vent, but it will do on the copper pipe work. But you'll find that you've got disconnects associated when pipes are being changed and you're moving it around. So just be mindful of that. Some of these pipes these fittings will automatically go in the direction based on how you draw it. So as mentioned in a previous video, you're best off starting at your fittings, such as the likes of these toilet pans, etc. Starting there and working your way downwards. When you're checking your fittings and your pipes and you're checking at the angles, always make sure that you look in a different view, a different cross-section view or plan view or 3D view, just to help you to determine that you've got the correct orientation. If we were to click on this fitting, you can see that we can change this to a cross piece by clicking on this plus arrow. Now in this one it's saying that the routing preference is not picking it up, so you'll get errors like this. So we're just going to cancel this. So you're best off getting your pipe routes all sorted out first before you start fixing up what you've got to do. If you find that you want to change your fitting to a different type, load it in. If you haven't got it already loaded in on here, then go ahead and insert load family and pick the right families that you need to load in. Similarly, when you are drawing your routes, your systems, put all your pipework in place first before you start to add in any of the fittings or pipe accessories. These should always be done last. As you can see in this brief example here, when you come and put it in place, it will fix to the pipework that you're attaching it to. Don't forget about open ends, capping open ends. In this instance, there's all soil vent pipe. You don't need to worry about that because this should always have a vent at the end of a run anyway, up to atmosphere. But certainly on copper pipe work, you need to make sure that you cap open ends. To do that, you just right click on the end of a pipe and click the cap open end. Now let's say we want to change the slope. We've got this at 1%. This one we've got this at 0. We didn't put anything on here. We can edit the slope by just clicking on it and changing it and typing in the new number, and as you can see, if you go too far though, you're going to start getting errors because this pipe only has a certain amount of flex in it before the correct angle affects it. So obviously 3% is too much for this fitting. So you need to study your percentages that you need based on your pipe routing and put those in as you're drawing it. So I briefed touchly before on about changing the types. I'll just run through this again. So if you've got your pipe and you've based it on a standard run like this, all you need to do, hover over it, press tab till you get the full pipe and run. That can be anywhere across the entire area, the entire building like this. And all you need to do is go up and change your system. So we've got all our pipes selected. All we need to do is click on change type. and then we can go and choose copper, chilled water, or whatever standards that we wish to use. Now, I've mentioned a couple of times about pipe placeholders, and I mentioned before that this is when you haven't really got a full design designed yet, but you want to start putting some pipes in to so it will help you later on. So all we need to do in this is you click on play pipe, and you just draw it in as normal, but it will show up even though we're in fine mode here. You'll find that it works as a single line. It's just an indication of what you're going to be the sort of route that you're going to do. You can still have control and move these around just like a normal pipe, but what you need to do once you're happy that the design is finished is all we need to do is highlight our pipe and then click on convert placeholder, and it will convert it to a pipe. But before you click on that, just go back and check your settings, your pipe type, your diameter, etc., etc., and then click on convert, and then you'll get your pipe converted across. Now, soil sanitary pipe, such as this green one here, we don't need to add insulation, but any copper pipe or steel pipe or anything like that used for the hot and cold water, then you need to apply insulation to it. And once we've selected our runner pipe that we want to insulate, we just need to click on this add insulation. It will ask us about the type of insulation that we want, and then also the thickness. Once you're happy with those settings, just click on OK, and now we've got our pipe in the middle with our insulation on the outside. Now, if you notice, we can't click on the insulation. What we've actually got is we've only got a pipe here. We only have the graphical representation of the insulation shown on our pipe. So you can't actually click on the insulation. To do anything, you need to click on the pipe, and then you can edit the insulation or remove it, etc. Again, make sure you're in thin lines for doing this, otherwise you're just going to end up with a great big blob if you got it in thick line mode when you come to do the insulation part, as you can see from here. So make sure this is ticked on the thin line. Now, say for example we've got a pipe and we're going from 80 mil, and then we're going to change it to 150 mil, the likes of this. Again, just like what we've shown in a different video with ductwork, we can look at our justification here, and we can control how we wish to have our alignment. At the moment it's set for center. So if we change our justification, we can have our pipe set like this, so all the bottoms the same. Now obviously this is a bit extreme, going from an 80 to 150. You go in stages. You wouldn't necessarily go a big jump straight away, but you can see the point that I'm making. Usually it's with pipe work, it's usually center to center. It's not very often that we'll need to justify it to one side or the other, unlike ductwork.